Hey everyone, Maury Curtis Dunbar here. Welcome back to Painted Studio. As you can see, I'm not in my normal space. You can see my work chair over there with my jacket shoved down on it and some packing peanuts behind me, and that's because I'm working at my little round table today, and we're going to be working on the table that you saw me do the shellac coating on yesterday. We're going to be working with Old World finishing paint. I'm going to give you a little bit of information about that. Hey Lolly, nice to see you here. And as you can see, I have ear pods in because I have been told that if I get up and walk away and go to the sink to grab something, you can't hear me when you're talking, but you should probably be able to hear me with my ear pods in. So let's hope that works. All right, I'm going to put the camera towards the table and we're going to start working on our table. All right, so down here, you can see I have my iPad all set up so I can see you guys. So let me refresh my page. Maybe turn the volume down so nothing bad happens and you don't hear it explode while I open up the video. Oh, come on. Let's go. I don't know what's going on here. It's nothing like expecting technology to work. Okay, we've got that working. I can see the comments on now. Hey Minetta, nice to see you. And we're going to start pushing stuff up onto the table, so just give me a second. We're going to start with the base. I've got to set this up here carefully so that I don't send things flying, because you can see there's a clamp on the foot. All right. So right down in here, you see what you're seeing. I got sticks and stuff all over the place. So I just want to make sure I'm looking at the camera and I can see what you're seeing. So right here, this is the one spot actually on this side that some of the carving and the veneer had come up. So I had put a little wood glue on there to lock it down and lock it in place. And that'll be, there's just one big blob there that I need to roll off. But for the most part, that's dry enough. And I've also put a coating of Set Coat Clear on here from Faux Effects. The reason I did that is that I'm going to go directly on here with Old World finishing paint. I want to keep this underwood color available for me, but I wanted to make sure I had a more stable paintable surface on here that grabs the paint better the way I like it does than the shellac will. So we have Old World finishing paint over the shellac I put on there yesterday. Sorry, Set Coat Clear, which looks like, where is my can of Set Coat Clear? I probably put it away. Sorry. Ooh, I kicked the tripod. Sorry, everybody. Let me grab the Set Coat Clear. Where did I put it? It's just gone missing. It was right next to me. Well, that was a brilliant idea that's failed miserably in execution because I've moved the can. I don't know where I moved it, so guess what? You're not going to see that. So the next layer we're going to start with is our Faux Effects Old World finishing paint. Now ignore the fact that this has got a gold label on. This is an older can that I poured a newer can into because I like this lid. It is not a gold label product anymore. It has not been for a very long time. And then we're going to tint it. We have Faux Effects makes colorants for those who aren't familiar, and they make faux color and faux cream color. Today we're going to work with faux color. Now this is a gold label product. For those not familiar with Faux Effects, if you're not being taught how to use something like this by a certified Faux Effects instructor or at a certified Faux Effects studio, you can't buy this. But because I am a certified Faux Effects instructor and I am giving you the actual directions on how to use this, you may purchase this because I'm teaching it to you. This is my agreement with Faux Effects to do this, so they're okay with me doing it. Now the difference is faux cream color. Let's see if I can find a bottle. Hang on a second. Faux cream colors have the word cream right on the label. the cream stands for basically the acrylic binder that's in there. So you can use it as a standalone paint as well as a colorant. And if you open it up and squeeze a little out, like I'm doing on my finger right now, it's got some body to it and it's creamy. This product, the Faux Color, is more like ink, works a little like a dye. So we're going to take some into our Old World finishing paint that I've poured out into a cup, and we're going to add a lot of it. Maybe I need to open it because there's a little cap in there. Old World finishing paint, to get past a pastel, takes a great deal of colorant because it's a white pigmented mineral kind of paint. I wanted a bright pink, and the reason I'm using this specific shade and not going with magenta or anything else is because when I mix French red Faux Color, which looks very, very red, even in the bottle, when you mix it into white, you get sort of a lipstick pink out of it. And that's really the color I wanted. Magenta was going to be too purpley. The regular red was going to read too orange, you know, didn't have any purple at all in it. It was a pure red. So I was going to get just a very light red, almost, not even a pink. It was going to read a little bit on the peachy side. I wanted something that's going to read really pink. And you saw how much colorant. I was putting a lot in there. So this is where we're at with this. The reason I don't use the Faux Effects Faux Cream Color French Red, because it's not the same red. Most of the time you can kind of interchange the colors of Faux Color and Faux Cream Color if they say the same thing, but the French Red is not the same. And these come in 16-ounce bottles as well, and you can use them to color any water-based paint. They work wonderfully. The colors are very rich, the colors are very intense, and they last you forever. I have got to have bottles on my shelf that are 15, 20 years old, and they're still just as good as the day I purchased them because I keep them tight, sealed tight. Now I'm going to cover some stuff about Old World finishing paint. I know you all have seen me do this before, but let's get into it. Old World finishing paint is Faux Effects chalk style paint. It is a true mineral paint, meaning you can't add more colorant to it and get it darker and darker and darker. It's got a saturation level and it's always going to dry a little chalky, dusty looking. So if you wanted black, we recommend buying the Old World finishing paint in the pre-tint colors. The black is coal, it's quite dark. It would take you a ton of colorant to get there. Now the other thing about Old World finishing paint, and I'm going to start brushing as we talk, and I'm going to move my iPad, so while I might miss a comment, and it's so nice to see everybody here, while I might miss a comment or question, I'll come back to it later on. So this paint has almost no binder in it, meaning once I've brushed it on and it's dried, I can layer tons of stuff over it, but I still I can put as many layers of Old World finishing paint on top of each other as I want. But once I'm done, it must have either a glaze or a wax or a sealant of some sort on it to make it bond permanently to the substrate. What happens is the top coats, the waxes, the glazes penetrate this and bond onto the layers below and become one solid cohesive level. And I use two different brushes to apply my Old World finishing paint. I have these, which are nylon, which are stiff. And then this is Taklon, which is softer. And honestly, I test them both on each piece because it depends on the consistency I've gotten my paint to. It depends on how curved the surface is. I find personally that these Taklon brushes like a curved surface better than the nylon brushes, which are stiffer. But the nylon brushes are really good for getting into the crevices, so I like to work them both. And if I decide that after this dries, I'm not happy with one coat of paint, clearly I can layer more over it, and I probably will. Normally I turn everything upside down to start, but that's very awkward on camera. But I like to do the bottoms of everything first, so that if I have any drips coming, just angle this around a little bit. So if I do the bottom of this leg here, or the bottom of this leg, and I have dribbles that come up here, when I turn it over, it's much easier to clean that off that way and then paint fresh over it than if I've done a perfectly flawless painting job on this side. I do the bottom and something dribbles and then I have to clean it up. So I really am a firm believer of going from the bottom first. Of course, that's not what I'm doing here, so I'm challenging you all. Now I'm going to enjoy, we're going to do a bunch of different things on this table, so this is not going to be just a chalk painted table. We're going to do some highly specialized decoupages with hand printed papers, a technique that I was using for years and really don't share that often, but it's so cool. I mean, I took a lot of handmade papers and did a mural on a set of bifold doors, big bifold doors, in a kitchen where they were closing off basically a large closet office. And I did that finish. My son's 24, so I did that finish 26 years ago. That condo's been through 3 owners. 2 of them kept all of the finishes. One of them is redoing everything except those doors. They wear hard once you've topped it up, coated it really well. This is a table. This was a nightmare stripping job on this, because there was a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm still trying to figure out if the finish I stripped off of this, and normally it's really easy to tell, but this was almost a professional grade finish on here, because it was underneath and it was up under the top, and it was really well done. Ugly as sin, but well done. But the chemical, the stripping of it, it didn't strip like more contemporary paints, and the piece itself is old. So I have a feeling this was done with a lot of weird chemical reactions and was purchased looking like it did before I stripped it. But man, what a nightmare to get this stuff all off. So I'm creating a finish that forgives the flaws in the wood, because there's a lot of damage to the wood, a lot of dings and scuffs and wax on it and stuff like that. And then the top will have a lot of interest to it as well. Trust me, if this table was in different shape, I would have absolutely loved to just clear the paint off of it and do a wood finish on it with just a little highlighted detail when I start cleaning this thing off. That was not the option I was given. Okay, so back to Old World finishing paint. You can thin this paint with water. You can thin it as much as you want and create a lovely wash with it. Untinted on raw wood, watered down a lot. You brush it across the wood, and it's a great grain sealer, meaning that, when you put it on, give it a light sand after it's dry, you put water-based paints over it, your grain will not pop. It has sealed the grain really, really well. It's one of the things I love using it for. And so you can see, this is not pretty right now. This is not going to be pretty for a while. The first few layers are always ugly. Do not freak out when you start putting layers of paint on and you go, God, that first layer is so ugly. Because the first layers of everything are always pretty ugly. I have gone into more clients' home and done more jobs, and at the end of the first day, their reaction is, "You're not going to leave it like that, are you?" All I can say to them is, "Well, I wasn't planning to, that's not what we agreed on, but if you love it, I'll stop right now. Because they all just, it's hard to understand, especially when you're not doing this every day, that you have to get through the ugly before you get to the pretty. And every single piece you work on is going to have a stage where you go, God, that is the worst thing I have ever painted. And then all of a sudden, you hit it, and it all pieces together. And oh my God, that's just stunning. I don't know why. I mean, I doubt myself with every single piece I do. And then when they come out really well, I look at them like, holy crap, I did that? I think you all have seen me do that a couple times online. Sorry, I need to drink water. So the cool thing also with Old World finishing paint is that there is an activator that goes with it that you can use to thicken the paint to create the effects of things like rotten stone and chipped paint and all kinds of wonderful patinaing, aging kind of stuff that you can create once you've thickened your paint to almost a plastery, crumbly texture. You get some really cool stuff out of that. And let's do the reminder while I'm painting pink about our upcoming contest. I shouldn't say upcoming contest. The contest is going on right now. The drawing is day after tomorrow. We are getting close. It is a share contest, as in sprinkle. If you're not sure what I mean by that, hang on just a second. I don't know where I put my paper, but it was here. Hang on. Okay. Facebook doesn't like us to use the S word, so we came up with another word, sprinkle, or distribute, or whichever word makes you use that little arrow that's right down here to move the video to another group or page. We need to get to 30 sprinkles by the time I go live on Friday, or the contest is null and void. We are very close to hitting that, so that's exciting to me. The contest is, you've got to share or sprinkle. I'm breaking Facebook rules every moment here because I'm concentrating on my painting. You need to sprinkle last Friday's video. The video that says contest time. You need to go back, find that video, sprinkle it, and for each sprinkle, come back under that video and post the word sprinkles or sprinkled. And that enters you into the contest. The contest winners receive 3 feet of foil, 3 feet of your choice. It can be 3 of the same foil, 3 feet of the same foil, 3 feet of different foil, 2 feet of one, 1 foot of another, your choice. And with that goes a custom cut heat transfer vinyl adhesive pre-cut design, any of the ones that we have listed on our site. So 30 sprinkles gets a contest winner. So please sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle Friday's video, and of course, please sprinkle this one. So we're gonna do a little more on this, and then I think we're gonna call it a day on the video. So like I said, it's not pretty right now. So let me move this up so you can see where I'm painting right now. And if I miss your questions, obviously I will go back, I will answer them, I will type them out. If I happen to see them while I'm working, I will clearly answer them. And I'm painting in weird ways. This is not the way I normally paint, and it's because I started at the bottom here, now I'm matching the top, whatever. It won't matter on this layer in the end because I'm going to need to put another layer of pink on it anyway. I want this solidly pink before I paint my next color on it. Again, I'm using Faux Effects Old World Finishing Paint using their tint base, tinting it with faux color in French red. I will post both the product information and you can order this from me, or you can go directly through my Faux Effects affiliate link and order through them there. And yes, I'm sure most of you know that affiliate links earn us a little cash, so there's no secret if we're sharing an affiliate link. This is how you order through me directly through Faux Effects. This is something new we're trying, so hoping it's a go. So after this week, I don't know about how you all are feeling about stuff, but after this week, it starts cooling off around here a lot, and we're really getting into fall. So while I'm still going to be working on the tables and other stuff, we're going to start fall projects soon. We're going to start working. I'm in the middle of doing my fall and Halloween windows. We're going to start doing some real fall-y kind of projects starting tomorrow, I think. We'll keep working on this table so you can see how it develops. I have a feeling this table is just going to be a continual Facebook Live project. I don't think I'll finish it without you guys watching me do it. I'm actually kind of glad it's going to start cooling off next week. It's been really hot here in Illinois. We've had our hottest summer on record. Not like these insanely high 105-degree temperatures, but more that it's been consistently above average, and everybody's yards are kind of brown, and everybody's looking a little listless walking around with their masks on in the heat. So let's move this up to the top. So there's the top. Now, this is a weird table. It's hinged, and I had one of the back pieces actually fall off on me, so I'm actually rebuilding part of the table as we do this too. And this thing's on a spinner, and then the table, there's a latch on the bottom because the table latches, when you flip it down, it latches into here, and you can spin it. I don't know it's almost like it was set up as a game table, but when I stripped it, there was no game table set up underneath. So I'm just hoping for the best right now. You're gonna see. Sometimes I get these pieces and I just really struggle with where I'm going with them. Okay, a couple more things about Old World Finishing Paint. It's a water-based paint, so if you find your paint's getting too thick on your brush, take your pot of water, dip your brush in lightly, then dip the dampened tips right back into the paint, and you're gonna have a nice spread. You don't want to keep pouring a ton of water into the Old World Finishing Paint. It's really easy to mess with the dilution, and all of a sudden you've got it way too wet for what you're doing. This is much more effective. And if you find you're having too many brush strokes too, you can dip your paint brush in the same way, come back over the area, brush it with a little water. Smooths the whole thing down. Don't get it too wet, you can actually make the paint run off the surface, which is kind of what I did right there, because I got it really wet to show you all, and then I made it runny. The optimum consistency for this stuff, once you've stirred it up out of the can, mixed the colorants in it, added water, is about the consistency of tomato soup. If you're familiar with working with gouache, similar to the correct consistency for working with gouache. And this dries super fast, so if you want to spray it, which you can thin it enough to spray it, you have to be fairly close to the surface, no more than 8 inches away, because the atomizing of this product in the air makes it want to dry fast, so you need to be close to the surface so that it's actually wet when it hits the surface. Ask me how I know. I've done that the wrong way more than once because I'm stubborn and don't follow my own directions. I also don't worry if I get drips with this because this product sands like velvet, and so dribbles take me a second to get rid of. Of course, I don't like to make it drippy. That's a waste of product and a waste of time. So that just because I can doesn't mean I do. That's under here. I still have to get up under here, but I'm gonna, once this is dry, I'll turn the table upside down and do that. You know, the way I should have done it the first time, but I couldn't get it stable on the stand here for you all to see what I was doing. All right. I mean, this pink is like a flamingo pink, which is perfect for what I'm creating here. I know you're going, God, that's pink. What is she gonna do with that? Just wait, you'll see. Get that bottom here. And your brush strokes are always important. I try even when I know it's going to be buried, I'm going to sand it, I'm going to clean it, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I try to manage my brush strokes so that I don't make more work for myself later on. So even like at this very moment when I know I'm brushing against the grain, I'm gonna go back and smooth it out, fix it so I haven't made my own life harder later on when I need to do sanding. And when I need to brush more layers on, I don't want to have to brush over rough spots and make it hard and make the final finish just look chunky and awkward. All right, so we have a full layer of obnoxious pink on here. We've had a long conversation about Old World finishing paint and our colorants. So once again, the products we used. Old World finishing paint, not a gold label product, it's silver label, that's just an old can. We're going to use Old World finishing paint in coal later on. We have used faux color French red, and we did discuss the difference between faux color and faux cream color, so you should have a pretty good understanding. And of course, if you don't, if you need clarification on any of this, put it in the comments below. I'm more than happy to answer them for you. And please don't forget to go back and sprinkle Friday's video so that you can enter the contest and win some goodies from us. And sprinkle this one so that we have the opportunity to do more contests in the future. All right, everybody, have a great afternoon. Thank you for popping in, and I will talk to you later. Bye.